It's Christmas time again. Your favorite shoe cookies. It's the season of love where miracles happen.
Hello again and welcome. Today we are beginning a new story and it's called The Dreaming Business. Here we go. You would most likely find her dancing in the air over the meadow, surrounded by flowers and enthusiasm, and accompanied by the soft breeze and a singing choir of beloved birds. She may look rather common at first, and you may overlook the fact that there's actually a girl attached to those fine wings. That's just an ordinary butterfly, you'd think. If so, you might want to reconsider, since, for one thing, it would be quite likely that the Butterfly Association would pursue you, stating that your interpretation of life is rigid and old-fashioned if you think that the amazing butterflies are ordinary and common. Not to worry though, the condition can be tampered with and you can indeed regain your divine origin as a curious and life-engaging being of wonder. You would, however, instantly recognize her uniqueness if you were fortunate enough to stumble upon her in her sleep. You'd find her cuddled up in her favorite flower. She would lie ever so still, and the tiniest tunes would be accompanying her peaceful breathing, filling the air with dreams coming true. In the early mornings, the birds, the bees, the plants, the trees, the deer, everybody near and everything around would awaken to these soft and magical melodies, always insinuating that another very special day was beginning. She would herself stay unaware of this. She loved to sleep late and would never get up until the sun was high up on the sky. Now you may jump to the conclusion that she was a lazy bugger. Not at all. Firstly, the whole concept of laziness is actually an illusion. Everybody in the universe should know this by now. So no, not at all. And secondly, she was a businesswoman. A businesswoman of the future, to be more specific. She had very strict goals that she wanted achieved, and she knew that in order to be able to perform her most exquisite level of being at all times, she would have to live a loving relationship with the finely orchestrated rhythms of her natural being, based on clarified awareness and respect for her special part in the symphony of life. Therefore, her sleeping late wasn't just sleep for the sake of physically recovering and gaining strength. Her sleep was also a finely tuned interaction with life on extraordinary and non-physical levels. During her time of sleep, she would be engaging in knowledge gathering, downloading inspiration, healing, and closure on solved matters, or she could be bringing forth the new to come streams of awareness from the future. Living like this, in exquisite tune, actually made her optimize every breath, thought, action, and non-action throughout the day and night as well. Well, once up and about, you'd have to pay very close attention. She would be everywhere, busy buzzing, all over the meadow, everywhere. Engaged, working. A buzzing businesswoman of the future? Well, yes, maybe not businesswoman in the usual interpretation of the word. You see, her business was the big business, the real big business, as in how to elevate our awareness to the level of exquisiteness. You know, a fulfilled and marvelous sensation of being in the all-in-one symphonian orchestra, where each being would be their finely tuned, unique instrument. How had she come up with a career choice of that caliber? Well, ancient tales were told about this wonderful area of the cosmos that was supposedly the best place to live. Everybody there was happy and content, living in bliss and harmony. She had never seen the place, and she didn't know the name of the place either. The ancient words stated that once you had reached a clear awareness level, the magic well in the woods would reveal the location of this wonderful place. She was, on behalf of all her fellow beings, very keen on fulfilling this vision of bliss, peace and harmony for all. That is serious business, don't you agree? There were some speculations of what this level of exquisiteness would reveal, and how the land of happiness would turn out, and though she was curious, Our Lady of Divine Business always said, "I don't want to know too many details. I want it to be a surprise. But since you ask, I believe that it will be much more amazing than we could ever dream of." Dreams were exactly her area of expertise. Over the years, she had enhanced her techniques on making dreams come true. Included here was linking the dreams to the grander perspective of one large symphonic orchestra. She had noticed that often the dreams of some of her fellow inhabitants were exclusively focused on local interests. A bigger house, more food, nicer clothes, etc. But with no real awareness of the big picture. She realized that by linking every true coming dream to the big picture, the collective level of beingness would rise altogether. So apparently it was enough for her to connect the dots, and even the smallest dreams would play a huge part in reaching the level of exquisiteness that would reveal the place of happiness and bliss. You see, it was never really about the subject in question of the dreams. The magic behind the dreams was the actual process of dreaming. Essentially, the energetic communication between the being and its future, the transcending statement of, "Wow, I would love to have this in my life," would do the trick. That conversation within carried the enhancing power. Therefore, Our Divine Lady always encouraged her fellow inhabitants to dream on, as much as possible actually. That's it for today, end of part 1, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.